In addition to solar and lunar cycles, Altairus has a system of star signs all its own. There are 12 star signs in total, and the constellations associated with them tend to be of Altairians who did great things for the world, or else did something so extraordinary that their image was forever immortalized in the stars. An Altairian star sign corresponds to the constellation of these that appears to be the highest in the night sky on the night of the day in which the Altairian was born. Werloga, or the Warlock, is also called the Heartbroken Wizard in some parts of Altairus. This is because the story behind the constellation is quite grim. It is said that Werloga was once a powerful dark wizard who yearned for someone to love. He would find that love in a rather unexpected place, from a dryad in the Emerald Woodland. Unfortunately for the wizard, the dryad was a deciduous being and would go dormant every winter, leaving him until spring. In an effort to avoid this, he cast a spell on her that would not allow her to go dormant during the winter. This way, he reasoned, she could always be with him. Unfortunately, this ended with her freezing to death when a particularly sharp frost struck the Emerald Woodland. In his grief, the wizard immolated himself to be with her. For whatever reason, the Fenghuangs took pity on him and placed his image up in the night sky, never to be forgotten. Altairians who are born under this star sign are, ironically, said to be very lucky in love. According to the legend, Werloga blesses all his children with the love that he was unable to find in life. Microceros, or Little Horns, is a constellation of a small-horned white hart stag. The story behind the star sign is one of great bravery and compassion. According to legend, Microceros was the smallest white hart of all and rather shy. One day he found a little bird caught in a massive hedge of poisonous thorns. He charged straight into the hedge to save the little bird, even as the thorns tore at his hide. With great effort, he rescued the little bird from the hedge, placing her back in the nest she had fallen from. But Microceros drew poison from the thorns. Shortly afterwards, he staggered and fell, succumbing to the poison. As recognition for his bravery and kindness, the Fenghuangs placed Microceros' image in the sky, immortalizing him. Altairians born under Microceros are said to inherit the white hart's sanguine nature. Many of Altairus' greatest heroes were born under this star sign. The story of Amagon is the story of a vain polar dragon whose pride was his downfall. Of all the polar dragons, Amagon's scales were the purest white of all, as stark and clean as driven snow. Of course, he was not the most modest about this fact, showing off his pure white scales at every opportunity and spending his days preening and making them even whiter. One day, Amagon's Arctic home was invaded by fire elementals. Unfortunately, when this happened, Amagon was busy at the icy lake he preened himself in, as usual, while his home burned around him. Eventually, the marauders got to him, too. They took his life as he was transfixed on his own reflection, unable to look away. He fell into the lake before he died, staining it red with blood. As a warning against vanity, the image of Amagon, forever staring at his reflection in the lake, was placed in the sky. Altairians born under Amagon must be careful not to fall into patterns of vanity. While their pride can easily be an asset, it can also be a liability. Since Amagon is near zenith around the time of the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere, Amagon is also associated with the coming of spring and the narcissus flower in particular. Seraphina, or the Star Phoenix, is the most radiant of all the star signs. The story behind it is the only one to mention the Wendigos. While other phoenixes are born in different colors of the rainbow, Seraphina was unique in that she hatched as a pure white chick. Because of this, she struggled to know who she truly was. One day, the Wendigos attacked her home in the jungle of the Wise Serpent. She fought valiantly alongside the other phoenixes, but as they continued to attack, she and the others were slowly worn down. Out of sheer force of will, Seraphina began to breathe fire made out of pure undifferentiated anima at the Wendigos, blasting them back and stripping them of their power. Her pure white feathers turned to all colors of the rainbow as they became saturated in this new magic. Eventually, the Wendigos fled, and the jungle of the Wise Serpent was safe once again. It is said that then she flew up to the stars, where she watches and protects the denizens of Altairus to this day. Altairians born under Seraphina are said to have a stronger connection with undifferentiated anima than other Altairians. They can more easily cast the Wendigo banishing incantation, and they are less likely to be possessed by a Wendigo. Not all stories behind the Altairian star signs are so solemn. Some are rather light-hearted. Such is the case for Amberjack, a dryad whose fun-loving nature was immortalized in this constellation. As the story goes, Amberjack was a traveling dryad known for the hard cider that her apples produced. One autumnal equinox, a jealous rival dryad named Honey Delicious challenged Amberjack to see who could down the most cider. Amberjack, being known for her tolerance for the stuff, accepted. It was said that by the time the contest ended, poor Amberjack was so inebriated that she lost her way home and ended up amongst the stars. There she rests to this day, forever sleeping off a bad hangover. Altairians born under Amberjack are, unsurprisingly, known for their fun-loving and risk-taking natures. They also have a higher than normal tolerance for alcohol than the average being, but they must be careful not to fall into bad habits. Appearing during winter's end, she, or the Sky Dancer, is a star sign associated with the arts. The story behind it is a rather simple one. She was once a sylph who traveled freely through the skies. Every summer's end, she would dance through the skies, painting a rainbow that could be seen by Altairians all over the world. Unfortunately, this would not last. One summer's night, a storm got so out of control that she was struck by lightning and plummeted to the ground. While she died on impact, her legacy would not be forgotten. Instead, her image rests in the stars, reminding Altairus of when she spread colors all around the world. Altairians born under she are said to achieve great success in artistic and intellectual endeavors. They tend to have brilliant minds and immense imaginations. This is a very lucky star sign to be born under. The story behind Enigmata is actually about a great hero's pet. It is said that there once was a Necomata enchantress named Selene, who had an owl familiar named Enigmata. This owl could communicate with Selene telepathically and serve as her spy. He could also turn invisible and fly faster than the speed of sound without making any noise. When he died, it was said that his image was placed into the night sky in recognition of his powers and loyalty to the sorceress. Altairians born under Enigmata have superior skills in illusion, misdirection, and invisibility. As these can be used for both good and evil, it is important that Altairians born under Enigmata find a constructive way to channel these powers. The second light-associated star sign to happen during the year, the tale of Radius, is one of judgment. It is said that Radius was a powerful guardian of justice who existed very early in the Golden Era. His judgment was impeccable, or so they said, until one day one of the criminals he condemned set out to handle him once and for all. Summoning the power of null magic, the outlaw blasted through Radius's chest with a disintegration beam. The outlaw was caught and condemned to be sealed underground for all eternity, but it was too late for Radius. Upon his dying breath, the Guardian promised he would watch over the beings of Altairus and keep them safe. In recognition of this, the Fenghuangs placed his image in the night sky to forever watch the denizens of this magical world. Altairians born under Radius have a strong sense of justice and a greater connection to light magic than others. In particular, casting the Enlightenment spell is easier for them. These Altairians must be careful, however, as they can be a bit overzealous in their application of their sense of justice. Haiba, or the sea monkey, is the second water sign to appear during the year. Haiba was once a reef siren who was known as the sea monkey for how curious he was. He was always searching around shipwrecks, looking for scraps he could use for his many inventions. One day, he fashioned a weather machine that ran out of control, creating a massive tempest in the Bay of Forever. Through his wits and ingenuity, he was able to stop the tempest and save the bay. He lived for many more centuries before his death, upon which his image was placed in the sky as a reminder to never stop discovering. Altairians born under Haiba are, like those born under Shi, extremely bright. However, rather than achieving success in artistic endeavors, those born under Haiba are more successful scientists and engineers, in reflection of the sea monkey's endless curiosity and desire to know how things work. The tale of Inverna is rather spooky. Legend goes that when one walks through the forest on a cold October night, one can encounter ghost flames, little balls of fire that burn cold instead of hot. Inverna burned the brightest of them all. Many Altairians who were lost in the woods would credit Inverna for guiding them back home, but many thieves in those same woods vanished due to Inverna burning out their daemon energy. In short, Inverna seemed interested in keeping travelers safe. Even when it was placed into the sky, it serves as a beacon for traveling elementals at nighttime. Altairians born under Inverna tend to be frequent travelers. They are far less likely to be attacked on an outing and are trusted to run cross-continent errands for others. They see much of the world and are an invaluable asset for many of Altairus' burgeoning economies. Granian, or the ground serpent, appears around the time of Summer's End. However, its legend dates back before most Summer's End celebrations were even created. The story of Granian is the story of the world serpent, the being who formed most of the mountains in Altairus with his scaled back. It is said that Granian created the mountains by tunneling underground, pushing the earth up and out of the way. To this day, many of the landforms created by Granian are home to Altairians of all elements. His image was put in the sky in honor of his part in Altairus' creation. Altairians born under Granian are said to be very well grounded, if you excuse the pun. They also have a closer affinity with earth magic, particularly spells that have to do with controlling the movement of earth and rocks. Pegacorns are a rather rare sight in Altairus, being a hybrid of a unicorn and a pegasus. Helios is no exception, only coming out when the winter solstice is nigh. It is said that Helios, being born a pegacorn, was always unsure of where he stood amongst his fellow unicorns and pegasi. One day, he flew to Tempest Island, befriending the storm gremlins who lived there. Learning their ways, he could summon great thunderstorms with just a flap of his wings. He lived a long and peaceful life on Tempest Island until one fateful winter solstice night. This was the night that Yule City was attacked by the Rainbow Country Light Fairies. He fought alongside the Elder Goat and the Winter Orchestrator to fend them off. At the end of the night, he guided the Elder Goat's sleigh through the winter night to deliver presents to all the Altairians of the world. He did this for many more centuries before his untimely death. His image was placed in the night sky as a blessing of the winter solstice. Altairians born under Helios have generous hearts and resonate with the winter solstice spirit much more than other Altairians. Many of them tend to view the winter solstice as their favorite holiday. Hi there, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would like more from our friend Jack Thunder, you can check out my new book series, Jack Thunder and the Fragments of Anima, on Amazon using the link in the description. Or you can head on over to my Teespring and grab a few things from my shop. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content every week. Thank you for watching.